What is up, party people? Welcome or welcome back to my channel. I'm Jamila. This is JemilaBeReadin because I do be reading. I'm coming to you perhaps a little less polished than I usually am in my intros, and that's because I am editing this video. And it has occurred to me as I'm looking through my footage that I never filmed an intro. So I'm doing that right now. Hello, welcome to this video. What are we doing? We are letting a color wheel choose the books that I will be reading in this video. I'm gonna go ahead and just keep this intro short and cute and move on to the next clip. Hello, hopefully you cannot see the mess behind me. There's a lot of boxes down there. Hi, hello. This is the first clip I'm filming for this video. I did spin the wheel already off camera. I did do a screen recording so you can watch it here as I'm talking. I do have to admit something. I have to admit something to you all. I did spin multiple times. I spun multiple times to specifically get the color yellow or gold so that I could read Yesteryear, because everyone is reading it and I also want to read it. I want to be a part of the conversation. So I did spin a gold 5 to 6 times before I got to yellow. I cheated a little bit. I'm not going to be doing that moving forward though. I'm not, whatever color I land on, we're gonna, it's just, this is just for this one. And I also did kind of want to talk about that book in a video anyways. So the first book that I'm reading for this is Yesteryear. I'm only like 20 pages in. I keep reading it like right before bed, but I've been so busy and so tired that I'm like falling asleep immediately. Not because I find it boring or anything like that, but it's just because I'm so tired and sleepy and my bed is so comfy and cozy. So I'm not that far into it. I don't really have much thoughts. The writing style is really interesting, I will say. What is this about? Do I even know what this is about? It's like about this trad wife influencer who gets sucked back in time or something like that to the actual time period of tradwifery. I don't know. And I think we get like backstory about her life and stuff like that. But it'll be interesting. I have been following the author for a long time now. I first discovered her on TikTok when she started blowing up over there. And then once she started her podcast with Katie, I'm blanking on Katie's last name, but with Katie. I'm like, Money with Katie? I forget her last name, but they have a podcast together called Diabolical Lies, and I've been I've been listening to it basically since its inception, and I'm like a paid subscriber to the podcast as well. So I have been following this for a while, and I've been following the author for a while. So I'm very curious where I'm going to land on this. I'm seeing a lot of polarizing reviews, and it just makes me more interested to see where I'll fall. I feel like I kind of have like some backstory of like where the author is with this. I don't know if that's going to help or not help. But yeah, once I get further in, I will talk more about it. I'm actually going to be leaving in a couple hours to the airport because I'm going to Oakland this weekend to see Hayley Williams. So excited. I'm hoping to get a lot of reading done on the plane and like when I'm waiting at the airport and stuff like that. So I probably won't update you on the book until I'm back home. But yeah. Hello. Excuse my appearance. I am quite glowy. I just got out of the shower, did my skincare routine, did my little oils in my hair, braided it. Anyways, I'm really, she's glowing. Anyways, I am back from Oakland now. I had a really good time. Honestly, I really liked Oakland. I was there Friday evening and then I came back last night. Today's Monday. It was really fun. I got to see some friends that I don't get to see in person very often. Shout out Amy and Tiffany and Cadence, and also my friend Awasif. Lots of people that I don't get to see that often because we don't all live in the same state or city even. So it was a really good time. We went to see Hayley Williams, which was incredible. Oh my gosh. It was so good. Hayley Williams is an incredible performer. She's so good live. I had like full body chills when she was singing True Believer. Incredible. It was a really good weekend. I had a lot of fun. I read some of Yesteryear in between when I was mainly on the plane. I'm like a little over 30% of the way through now. This book is following our main character, Natalie. She is like an influencer, family vlogger, mommy vlogger, definitely giving trad wife energy. She is definitely reminiscent of like a Ballerina Farm or a Nara Smith. I think those kind of not undercover, but also overt, I don't know, religious, conservative influencers who really espouse these traditional family values and all of that stuff. But in the background, they have these nannies and people helping them like with their farm, and they're not actually doing all of this themselves. They have a lot of help and technology. And so she gets sent back to the 1800s. We don't know how. I don't know if that's something that's going to get explained. But she wakes up one day and she's basically in her house, but it's like everything is a bit different. Her husband is different. It's him, but different. Her kids are there, but different. It's just a whole weird vibe, and she's just instantly having a really bad time, and it's just wild. So interspersed between watching her navigate this situation, we also kind of like follow her past, like how she got to this point where she is like this really successful trad wife influencer and has this dream life. And yeah, it is really interesting. It is really interesting. I'm not sure how I feel about this yet. I think I need to get further in, and how it ends, I think, is really going to solidify my feelings. I think this is definitely one of those books where the ending is really going to matter, how this all wraps up. In some ways, it feels so on the nose that it almost ceases to have meaning a little bit. I feel like that sounds really harsh. But yeah, I think I'm going to hold more thoughts for now. I'm going to get a little bit further, and then I'll come back and talk to y'all about more. Let's finally talk about my thoughts on Yesteryear. So I finished it. I don't really remember what I said last. It's been a couple of days since I finished this. I've been thinking about it. I've been absorbing it. This was a little disappointing, I will say. This was I think it was solidly written. It was very propulsive. I read it pretty quickly, but I feel like this book really lost its edge pretty much after like the first 20% of the book. Man, what do I even say? I don't know how to say all of this without spoiling, and I might spoil a little bit towards the end, but as I think I've probably mentioned, this is following Natalie, our main character. She is a big influencer. She's a trad wife influencer, conservative influencer, similar to like a Ballerina Farm. We see pretty quickly that this is all a facade. She's doing this for the internet. This is a very voicey book. A lot of it's just like in her head, and it is abundantly clear from the get-go that she hates all of this. She hates her life. She doesn't seem to like her children. She really hates her husband. I just feel like this book did not work as a satire or really a critique, which baffles me a little bit because I follow Carol Claire Burke on TikTok. I've followed her for a while. I listen to her Diabolical Lies podcast, and I know that she has these critiques of trad wives, of influencer culture, of conservative media and influencers. And this just felt like it really cut the edge of the critiques that I know that she has based off of following her for a while. This just felt like a really confusing book that it didn't know where it wanted to go or what it was exactly trying to say. I think some of the biggest issues of this book for me is that Natalie did not drink her own Kool-Aid. And I know I've seen a lot of people say, like, this doesn't feel realistic to, like, actual trad wives or, like, actual conservative, like, mothers and wives. And other people are counter arguing, well, this is about influencers and it's like a grift. And it's like, yes, this is not a representation of, like, what actual, like, conservative traditional wives and mothers are probably like. This is definitely specifically about, like, the influencer aspect of it. But I think even then, I don't think she bought into her own grift enough for me to, like, really believe it. It's like so immediately, like, she is chafing against this system that she was brought up in, which confused me a little bit. I just felt like if she was raised very religious and conservative and isolated and all of this stuff, I'm a little bit confused at why she's, like, having these internal monologues about, like, how women are just like, you know, all of this stuff that I don't think that she would be thinking about, you know? I know these influencers are grifters. I know that they know in part that this is a grift that they are portraying online. But I do believe that these people, for the most part, buy into their own grift at least a little bit. These are, at the end of the day, still religious conservative individuals. And I just feel like this was a liberal woman disguised as a conservative woman in some ways. I, like, you know, during the pandemic, anti-multi-level marketing content was really, like, my hyperfixation, which then led me to, like, conservative influencers and, like, trad wives and all that stuff, because they're all kind of related. So I feel like I'm like very familiar with these influencers and critiques of these influencers. I have my own critiques of all of this. So this is, like, this isn't new to me. Like, I'm sure there's a lot of people picking up this book and, like, have never encountered a ballerina farm or, like, really know much about these conservative influencers, and they're like, whoa. And that's another thing about this book, is that it just feels like, rather than a critique particularly of a system or systems plural, it's very, look at her, look at this woman. And I just feel like it became such an individualistic critique of this individual woman, this specific woman, rather than a critique of influencer culture as a whole, conservatism, like, religion. I think it was trying to go for that, but because it was so focused on her, and especially the twist that happens at the end, it just becomes such an individualized issue rather than a critique of the systems that made her, right? I think this would have been a really interesting if this was actually, like, a woman who grew up, like, maybe, like, in a liberal, not religious household that kind of fell down this trajectory of conservatism and is trying to, like, make this work or something like that. I think that would be a lot more interesting. She just didn't buy into her own grift. I think that's part of it that just didn't really feel realistic to how I think these trad wife conservative influencers are like, based off of my own observations. I'm sure there are probably some people who completely don't buy into this belief system and are purely grifting. I'm sure that exists. I just don't think that's most of them. She was too aware. She was too, like, keen on what she was doing, and it just didn't make a lot of sense to me. She almost felt like I was talking about this in a Discord server, and one person was saying she felt like a not like other girls of trad wife influencers. And I know the whole thing about trad wives they are kind of not like other girls, but, like, even amongst them, she just felt so disconnected. She was very isolated as well and alone. She was not a part of any kind of church. Like, we didn't see her going to church. We didn't see her around other community members. She barely was around her family. or her husband's family. It was like very contentious every time. And she didn't have like other influencer friends, which I also thought was really interesting. She just seemed so deeply uncomfortable all the time. And that also leads me to like wondering how she even managed to be successful in this grift to begin with, because she's so awkward and so uncomfortable and has so much anger. I just don't understand how she's pulling it off. I know this is a light spoiler, but part of how she gains a lot of followers is that some manosphere type individual like shouts her out, and then she gains a lot of followers from there. But even then, how did she keep those followers? Like, how did she get that dude? Well, he's a man, and manosphere man, so they're not particularly bright. So but I just don't understand how she managed to keep her following. Like, I just feel like you need to have a level of like charisma and charm to be successful in this way, and she just, at least from our perspective, since we're in her head, doesn't seem to have any of that at all. I don't know, it felt weird. I just don't like, there was a lot of little like things that didn't add up or make sense to me. And yeah, the ending, the twist, incredibly stupid. I hated that. Didn't like that at all. It didn't make a lot of sense logistically either. I don't like what kind of commentary it seems to be. Like, I don't know that I don't think the author was trying to say anything about it, but just it left a bad taste in my mouth in regards to like how it handled like a mental breakdown. This didn't work for me. I didn't like it. I'm giving this one a 2.5 stars. It's not the worst thing I read. It was really propulsive, and it left me thinking a lot. So at the end of the day, she did what she had to do, I guess, the author, because here I am thinking about it for days and talking about it with other people. But yeah, this didn't work for me, unfortunately. So there's that. Hello. I finished Yesteryear a few days ago. I will probably film another clip tomorrow talking about my thoughts around that. Lots of thoughts rumbling around in here. But I need to spin the wheel and pick the next book. Unfortunately, my camera battery is dead right now, so I'm filming on my phone, but I also have to spin on my phone. So what I'm gonna do is just stare you down quietly, so that there's something here while I while I overlay the footage of me spinning the wheel. I promise this is gonna be one and done, okay? I'm not gonna manipulate it like I did for Yesteryear. Anyways, okay, I think that should be enough time. Like, we got the color blue. So I'm gonna go ahead and look through my shelves and pick a book, and I'll let you know what I decide on. I have started the next book. As you've seen in those random clips, I spun the color blue, and I ended up picking up How to Fake It in Society by KJ Charles. I recently got this in my May box for aardvark. It's like a book subscription similar to like a book of the month. This is not sponsored. I pay for it myself, but this is like a historical romance. I know this author has written a lot of queer historical romances. I've been meaning to get to it, and I thought, well, I'm in the mood for some silly, fun, goofy romp of a time. And this is following Nico, who is the son of a French noblewoman, and she has apparently been accused or convicted of a notorious crime, wrongly convicted, and he's trying to restore his mother's reputation. But that's what he's claiming. I don't know if that's actually true. This is what he tells our other main character, Titus. He is like an artist and shopkeeper. At the beginning of this book, he kind of stumbles his way into marrying an older noblewoman who is on her deathbed, and to spite her remaining family members, she marries him, and then leaves her entire fortune to him and then dies. So now everyone's kind of like out for him, gunning for his money, including Nico, and Titus invites him into his household, and then they fall in love, and I'm sure like chaos and shenanigans ensue, and it sounds like it's going to be a good time. I'm only like 17 pages into this, and so far I'm intrigued. It's been fun. So I'll come back when I have more thoughts on this. Hello. I am here to update you on How to Fake It in Society by KJ Charles, because I'm actually almost done with this book. I kept meaning to come do a check-in, but then I just kept reading, and now I'm almost done and I'm about to finish it. So I was like, hang on, let me come in first, and then I'll give final thoughts once I finish. But I'm enjoying this. This has been a fun time. It's less of a romp though than I was wanting, especially compared to the beginning. Like the beginning was like, you know, here we are, it's a romp, and then it kind of like settled into itself. It was a lot more earnest than I was expecting, which isn't a bad thing. I do love earnestness, you know, but I was kind of hoping for this to be a little bit more silly, more rompy, maybe a little bit more absurd than it was, and it's a lot more of a quiet book than I was expecting. I also feel like the writing style keeps us a little bit detached from the characters. It's like third person omniscient, I think. Maybe I just made that up. But we do, like, it's like there are both of their perspectives. It's all in third person, which, I mean, I don't mind third person, but I just feel like the writing style feels very at a distance from the characters, and I just wish we got a little bit more. I don't know. It's interesting. I also feel like, especially the stuff with Nico, obviously he's like lying about things, but like we also don't know, which I think is interesting because we are from his perspective, but we never understand fully like who he is or like what exactly he's hiding. Like we know that he's in debt and that's what he's hiding, but like I think he's lying about like a lot more, and we just don't get any insight to that at all, which I think is an interesting choice that maybe I don't like. I'm not sure. I just wish we got a little bit deeper with some of these characters. The romance is also very quiet as well. Like it's I guess it's technically kind of fast because they've only known each other for a couple of weeks, but it feels like it's happening slowly. Like they become good friends and then they kind of fall into things, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I don't know. I think I just wanted a little bit more bombacity from this book, and it's a lot more of a quiet book, which is not a bad thing. It's just not necessarily what I was wanting out of the story and the setup. So in any case, I am liking this. I'm gonna finish it and I'll come back with final thoughts. Okay, I finished it. I didn't realize how little I had left, actually. My thoughts remained the same. There was a little bit of a rompy moment towards the end, which was fun. But yeah, I think overall, I would, if I had to choose one word to describe this book, I would say pleasant. I generally had a good time. You know, it was entertaining, and I liked their relationship together, Nico and Titus, which is quite the name. Yeah, I think I'm gonna give this one a 3.5 stars. I liked it. I would recommend it. I definitely want to check out more from KJ Charles. I know she's written a ton of other books, so I think I'm gonna end this video here, actually. I was gonna try to do one more book, but I don't want to. So I just feel like it would delay this video. Yeah, I think I'm gonna end it here with these two books, Yesteryear and How to Fake It in Society. Let me know if you've read any of these books, especially Yesteryear. Interesting book. And I'll catch y'all in the next video, I guess. Bye.